Hey there, fellow city builders, Kodiak the Kodiak here, and boy do I have an exciting update for all of you City Skylines fans out there. The developers of City Skylines 2 have just dropped their latest developer insight titled Zones, Zoning, and Zoned. And while being short, it is filled with plenty for us to discover. These developer insights have been chock full of hidden gems, and today's insight is no exception. In this quick and informative video, we'll be diving deep into the world of zoning and signature buildings, and the developers have some mind-blowing features to share. Not only will you learn about effective strategies for zoning your bustling city, but you'll also discover the details of building efficiency and mixed zoning. The developer insights have truly been a treasure trove of information, and I'm here to break it all down for you. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you won't miss any future insights and hidden gems. And of course, leave a comment down below with your thoughts about zoning in City Skylines 2. Alright, my fellow urban planners, let's not waste any more time. Join me as we embark on this thrilling journey through the world of zoning and signature buildings in City Skylines 2. Get ready to unleash your creativity and take your city building to the next level. Okay, before we get started, it's a light one. So we'll just hop straight into it, and there's still some stuff to uncover, though.
Okay, let's talk about zoning.
On the trigger already as we zoom out. Skate park right off the bat. So that's cool. It's a cool park asset. I believe the skate park came with mass transit, or no, it was mass transit. It was After Dark in Cities 1. And so this is a completely new asset, new type of skate park asset. It looks really cool. It'd be really cool if you could build a modular skate park. I mean, that would be pretty crazy, but I mean, still really cool. But as we zoom out here, DLC is going to destroy the quality of everything, and then we can pause right here, and there's a couple things to look at. First off, the football field down in the bottom left here, we'll have the Chirpers football stadium. The building to the right of it looks like a university potentially, or maybe it's a very large high school. It doesn't look like the same university that we saw previously, so I don't know what it is. But it is like an older style building that looks like it could potentially be one. It could be a residential complex, but it's a building I haven't really noticed or pointed out before. On the right-hand side in the top right, you'll notice that there is a river. And the river is full of pollution, and the pollution is a nice coppery color. So they've changed the way water pollution looks. Interested to see what that entails, because if you notice in the other side of the screen in the top left, there is a bright blue river. So it's very clear that there is something in that water. And then there's also this big orange building. Maybe when I zoom in and post, we'll be able to get a clearer look of it. But just looking at it right now, I can't really make a clear eye at like what it is. Maybe it's a tennis court or a basketball court, but it looks really big. So not too sure what that building is, but that's just initial wide shot look-see-do here. We've already got some cool new stuff.
We have the familiar tools returning, which are the fill tool, which fills the entire continuous zone with the selected zone type.
Nice.
Then we have the marquee tool, where you can select these rectangular areas and just plop a little zone there.
They're really pushing the word plop. They really want us to plop, don't they?
You can also have the paint tool, which you can use to basically paint cell by cell to make the zones exactly the way you want.
So it's pretty clear that the brush tool, the round circular brush tool, is gone. I see a lot of new players use that sometimes, like when I watch like bigger streamers play the game for the first time. I notice them, they like to use the brush tool. That's gone. So if you're a brush user, I'm sorry. It does appear like your tool mode is no longer available.
Compared to CS1, in CS2, the dezoning tool is added to your mouse, and it's the right click on your mouse. So it's not a separate tool.
Was that not in the base game? Like, I know that there was a separate tool, but I'm very confident. Like, I don't even know why I'm saying this with a doubt. You could just right click before to remove it. Is this just like a better feature for console users? Like, I don't understand them pointing this out, to be quite honest with you.
Anymore.
You can even zone over existing zones.
This part's cool though. I didn't even think about that when thinking of quality of life features for City Skylines 2 that I wanted. I did not even think that zoning over pre-zoned areas would be so helpful. And then I saw them do it, and then I was like, wow, that's actually one of the simplest things they could have done to make this game a better improvement of the first one. So I'm very happy that that's in the game. I didn't even think about it until I saw it, and then I was like, oh, that's obvious. They should have done that a while ago.
At release in City Skylines, will feature 2 architectural styles, North American.
Notice how they said at release. This is at release only. So they do plan on adding more. So that's good for anyone looking for different themes. And if you are looking for a different theme, let me know what theme you're interested in down below. You know, maybe a developer season. Who knows?
And European.
Theme. Select the visual style of your buildings. I believe we read this maybe in the last video, which you guys haven't watched my dev diary video, which was probably my longest video ever for these. You should watch that. I'll put it in the annotations and down below.
These styles include zoned buildings, service vehicles, road markings, and roadside props.
Okay, I did pause while he was talking, so I just want to reiterate what he said. So what he's saying is when you pick that district style, those are the things that district style changes. So that district style changes the service build or the service vehicles, the roadside props. Let me go back because I wasn't
North American and European. These styles include zoned buildings,
service vehicles,
road markings, and roadside props.
So that's probably like the actual street signs that say miles per hour or maybe kilometers per hour if you pick the European theme. What's nice is you can change the building styles when you build. Like you can specify, no, I want this to be NA, even if you're building on an EU map. The thing that is a little sad, I guess, is like you can't change the styles of like the road signs. Let's like say you wanted American road signs, but you wanted European service vehicles. It doesn't look like you can do that mix and matching. Not a super vital thing, especially because mods, I'm sure, will fix that. You know, just something that we're probably not gonna we're gonna have to wait for at least, or like someone from the community is gonna have to potentially help us live that dream if we want it. Really cool wide shot. I really like this. I love the variety of buildings. Obviously, there's 4 of the same building right in front of me as I say that, but it looks really nice. The lighting helps.
In the first game, there were only 2 residential zone types. In the second game, we are introducing 3rd level, medium.
We have medium density row housing, medium density apartment buildings, mixed housing.
What's really nice too, and I've noticed this, so they're just talking about the zone types here, is that this is Rectangulu, which was made by Toadies, and her city's European theme. I remember that. I remember her city was the European theme. So every single time they've gone into the zoning thing in her city, it's always said NA high density housing, and they've had the NA building selected. So if you're gonna, I would assume, because we've seen it before where it doesn't have the prefix of NA, if you're building in a zoning style that is of your theme, it does at least seem like it just says plain high density housing, and then if you pick a theme, it'll specify it on the front end. So that's at least a nice way to not catch yourself building the wrong zoning type.
With shops at the bottom and apartments at the top, as well as low rent housing.
Just a further confirmation of that.
Low rent housing,
which is great,
are bigger buildings with small apartments. People who are living in these kind of buildings are students, young adults who have just moved out, or singles.
What's really cool about the mixed-use zoning is not even the buildings that they're going to give us at launch, but I've been doing a small town kind of detailed build, and I was building something the other day in one of the downtown sections of like one of the small towns, and I was like, wow, this would be like really nice to have like apartments up at the top and businesses down at the bottom. And I was just giddy with excitement because I was like, oh, wait, that's going to be a possibility. Like, people are going to be able to make workshop assets or whatever they choose to use in cities, too, because it does appear like Paradox mods is potentially a thing. And who knows what that means for the Steam Workshop, right? We have the potential now for custom-made workshop assets that actually you could do that now. So I'm so excited for the future of user-created assets in cities. So here we get a nice, build-up sequence.
Mixed housing is a new zone type in City Skylines 2.
Again, I'm fairly confident that the animation for building is just not done yet because they're never showing the building go from crane to structure without an actual video edit. So don't worry if you think that looks bad. I don't think it's done yet.
It answers the demand for low commercial and medium density residential.
I don't know why, but I keep seeing this sign, and it looks like a Spirit Halloween. And if anybody knows, Spirit Halloween stuff, I appreciate you, but that looks like a Spirit Halloween sign every single time I see it from too far away. I think it's like some kind of like cheese store or something.
These apartments are good for saving space because they have both the shops and the apartments.
The shop at the bottom of the building pays rent, so the residents of the building doesn't have to pay that much.
So I want to pause on this. I was going to pause on the first building, but the second building has like a little bit more to go through. So this is the building view. I believe the left is all households over here. And then inside the actual info view for the building, there's some a little bit of interesting stuff. So obviously we have the level up thing. That's pretty similar from Cities 1. The building efficiency. And we'll learn about what building efficiency actually is and how it works in this video. So that's pretty cool. So that'll come up in a second. The number of households, obviously it's full. Residents 90. Pets have an individual section on it and 7. So is having like sections for pets to go to the bathroom nearby? Do you have to have city service? Can you banning pets obviously removes this, but like what reason is there for showing the number of pets in a building other than just cosmetic? There has to be a potential utility function for this, and I bet you there might be some kind of management on our side for dealing with pets. Like maybe dog parks will increase if there's a lot of pet owners in the buildings nearby. Maybe the dog parks like do better if there's a dog park asset like there was in Cities 1, or maybe there is a potential future pets related DLC coming first. I'm just spitballing here. That would be. I don't even know how you would make a full DLC based on pets in this game, but I mean, maybe it's a potential, or maybe one of the creator packs will have it or something. So down here, it says the company that's here, they sell food products. Noise pollution is low, employees that work there. So there's almost the same number of people working in the business on the bottom floor that are actually living in the building. And what they've said, which I've paused over it, so maybe you guys didn't hear, is that the bottom building pays the majority of the taxes for the building. And so the residents in the building pay a much cheaper tax rate because of it.
The mixed housing buildings have the...
So right here we see the employees, the maximum number of employees. I believe we've read this before in a previous dev diary, but there was a thing on wealthy and I didn't get the pause off on in time. Let's take a look at that. So the average financial situation of the household, the building, takes into account their members' income and their household's net worth.
Have the separate section for shops and apartments.
Companies produce goods and services, both material and immaterial. Companies sell their products to retailers and directly to consumer, or directly
they
to
can
consumers.
Mix and match to create a large variety of combinations.
Love those buildings, yes. Big fan. I hope they expand on that in DLCs maybe and add more.
The zone industry has two categories of buildings. Most of the buildings are manufacturing companies, but there are also warehouses where these companies can store their produced goods before they are sent further into the commercial sector or other manufacturing companies or outside connections.
It looks like the warehouses, especially for lumber here, look exactly like the ones from the Industries DLC, but just smaller.
In Skylines 2, we have overhauled and improved on the zoning demand calculations. We have great tools for you to understand how to zone better. The system is now more complex.
I like this animation here where it kind of flicks between the info views. You'll see it. But I wanted to pause on this info view specifically because there is the red tower that we've seen in $2.20 City right over here on the right. And I'm not too sure why it's red. Because if we look, all these buildings are green, and then this building, and this building are red over here. And I don't know the reasoning or logic behind it. Like, which info view is this? What is this structure? Like, at first I thought it was a tourism building, but then if it's a tourism building, why is there not more? Like, there's definitely more tourism buildings placed, and there's only 3 that are red, right? So what is this? What is this building? Is this that medical center? I think the medical center was on the edge of the city, so I don't think that that's that medical building. And then what is this building down by the pier? That makes me think it's like industrial, but then there's this residential thing right here. So like, what info view is this? What is this sky tower? We still have yet to figure this out. A lot of people were speculating that maybe it was an air traffic control tower, but it's pretty far away from the airport if it's that. And if it's a tourism building, why is it red and nothing else is? But anyways, let's, I'll press play now and then we'll look at the info views and then
complex, but not complicated. The game
Some of those info views just look nice.
has a new feature called City Specialization Bonus. This means that companies working on same materials and producing similar goods, when placed in close proximity, these companies gain an increase in efficiency.
So that's pretty cool. So that's what the efficiency comes from, is when you place buildings of the same type together, that's when we get these plus 104 or 104% efficiency. I've been wondering this, why we have this higher efficiency, and now we finally know. So employees, 31 out of 30. Okay, so the outskirts tannery, requires livestock, produces textiles. So there we go. So this is just a farm producing, well, a livestock good producing factory. Takes food or materials from the farms, converts them into good resources.
Which in turn increases their productivity and profit.
So we're seeing some other ones here, and we're seeing a lot more of the produces that the cities can produce. I'm going to go back a little bit. So if you look right here, this is leafy greens. They're producing vegetables. It's level 5. This is a huge farm. Love the modular farms. Highlighted that in the last video. Again, if you guys want to see the full breakdown of the dev diary this week, which contained the majority of the information, please go back and watch it. It's in the links down below. Garbage is piling up here. That's not good. But we have these modular farm fields, which is pretty cool. And it looks like you can curve them. Well, I'm not sure if you can curve them yet, because it looks like there's like a curve on these outside ones and this inside one. But then some of it's like kind of angled. So I don't know if there's actually going to be like a curve, like how you could with Move It if you've played with mods on City Skylines, where you can drag and bend. I hope you can do that with these. So that way you don't have those like, I don't know, janky corners. So, but anyways, we have the vegetables over here. Half a grain produces grain.
In close proximity.
Okay, and then VLC is just going to completely wreck itself.
In efficiency,
this was the livestock and textiles. And then this one is I-beam steel. Metals plus coal and produces steel. Wow, so there's a lot of resources in this. We have vegetables and beverages. Let's see if there was one. Was there another company right here that had a different resource?
Productivity and profit.
Rock into concrete. 120% efficiency. Wow. This one produces livestock. Look at all these farm fields. So like you literally have buildings in the center of these fields that aren't connected to anything. I don't know how I don't think I like that. I don't like that there's not like any kind of service road to these buildings anywhere. Like in real life, you would probably have at least like some kind of a 2-track or a service road to them through the farm field where there wouldn't be produce being grown. But I definitely find that interesting. I'm not a big fan of that personally, but still cool that it's so modular.
The system has been overhauled. This time, it's the citizens and companies that decide which areas are desirable in your city. And it is your job to provide them with the services and opportunities they need to live prosperous lives.
Industrial waste processing site, a specialized facility for collecting and handling the most hazardous and toxic waste products that result from industrial production. As these dangerous substances are collected away, the ground pollution produced by all industrial buildings is lowered. Okay. So we have upkeep, efficiency, employees. I like how it has 115% efficiency, but there is not really much too close. So you don't have to build buildings, I guess, that close to one another to get that efficiency bonus. Really high pollution of all types. I keep forgetting air pollution is going to be a thing. That's going to be challenging to manage. Cities 2 is definitely going to be a lot harder of a game, I think, than Cities 1 for sure.
The zoning tool also introduces
over here, we just have the residential
zoning overlay. This includes information for the different zone types.
I don't know that we've actually read the descriptions for these two.
Information.
Right here, ground pollution is generated mainly by industry, power plants, and garbage management facilities, and it decreases a citizen's health and happiness. It spreads onto the land near its sources and contaminates any groundwater deposits that come into contact with. It also reduces resource yields from forests and fertile lands. Ground pollution starts to dissipate after the source has been removed, but it takes a long time to disappear entirely. Once pollution is gone, groundwater deposits eventually replenish themselves, fresh water, and the effective resource yields return to normal.
For the different zones.
Residential suitability indicates general good areas to build residential zones of workplaces of city in this and city service available. When zoning residential areas, consulting with the zoning factor tooltips will give you additional information on how suitable areas is for a selected type of zone.
Types.
Okay.
Where to zone them and which places are not maybe the best places for them to be in. A new feature in City Skylines are the signature buildings.
Okay.
These are unique, ploppable zone buildings that decrease the
pharmaceutical production endeavoring in making products accessible to all. This has a positive effects on citizens' health and well-being. +1 university graduation chance citywide, +5% interest in university education citywide, +2% industrial efficiency citywide. Wow, that's a lot of crazy stuff. This is the signature buildings, as he just said. They are kind of like a hybrid of the unique buildings mixed with actual zonable buildings. So it's like a unique building that you place like in Cities 1, but it functions as a zonable building. So this functions as an industrial building, thus the different options down here. So there's mixed use, residential, commercial, and industrial, and it looks like there's probably office there, but they just don't have it unlocked. So
demand of the zone type they are in. These buildings are unlocked.
So now that they clicked on it, we can kind of see some stuff. So this was the I-beam steel. Oh yeah, this was the building they clicked on earlier, I think. It looks like there's the ground pollution, air pollution, noise pollution, and metals and coal equals steel.
They usually have 2 to 3 different requirements before they're unlocked.
What was that? Okay, so when they hover over this, we have the food station right here. Room for all the hungry customers under one roof. This is under commercial. +3 well-being within 1 kilometer. -1% import cost citywide. Attractiveness +1%. Attractiveness citywide. Attractiveness 10. Milestone requirement, tiny village, and NA low density business buildings. 4,000 out of 7,000 cells. So do we have to build different styles? It says NA low density housing. Obviously NA is selected. So could you click on EU and then it would say EU low density housing buildings? Is that going to be the same number, or is it actually going to be different for different styles? That is something to think about.
Different requirements before they're unlocked. In addition to contribute.
They keep highlighting over some of these buildings. I'm going to try to get a view on some of them that they've highlighted on. So you'll see some edits in here. One-stop station, a large gas station and rest stop for motorists, +3 well-being within 1.5 kilometers, -1% import cost citywide, +1 attractiveness citywide. They need 15,000 cells for this one. So this is a gas station. It's a large gas station. All right, Painter Mansion. The painter, this painter is known all over the world, but chooses to live in this city. +6 well-being within 1.5 kilometers. Also, if any of you know how to go frame by frame in VLC, please let me know in the comments. Thank you. It will make my life significantly easier.
Zone demand. They also have positive.
And then that was the Polaris building, which I think.
In addition,
we might have seen the Polaris building before. Residents will enjoy the atmosphere of this smooth, luxurious building, +4 well-being within 1
to the zone demand. They also have positive effects to their neighborhoods as well as the city.
Colossal Tower, a modern glass steel skyscraper with a curious angular design. Level 5 NA housing buildings, 200. Wow. Is that the actual number of buildings, or is that zoned tiles? I'm assuming that's zoned tiles. +12 well-being within 3 kilometers. Milestone Big Town.
That's a
then player suites. These are nice little assets. They come with sidewalks built in, so you could probably connect them to your sidewalk network if you want. Very angular, and they kind of just like end on the ends here. I mean, I kind of don't like that, if you want me to be honest with you. But there's a lot of buildings in Cities 1 that are like that, so. Residents will enjoy the atmosphere of this smooth, luxurious building. Households already have 117 out of 180 residents. We already have 12 dogs or cats living in it. We have a nice shot of the refinery here, or the refinery of the ore production quarry. There we go. Or mine, I guess. Looks like a quarry, but we have the digger right there. And then we have this cool building over here with these like weather balls. I don't know if this is like a weather service station or if this is actually an industrial building or what, but these are interesting. And that is the end of the video. A short one today, not a ton of new information compared to the dev diary. So again, if you guys are looking for all the cool information, I had a super long and super detailed video from the last dev diary that was out on Monday. If you guys want to click on that, it's down in the description below. I want to thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys all on Monday for the new dev diary, which is on City Services, feature number 5. Brand new services joined familiar city services, and while basic functionality remains the same, they have a more nuanced and complex mechanics, benefiting a more realistic city building game. So I want to thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I will catch you guys on Monday.